Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Sunday, February the 9th. The year's 2020. Let's talk trading. Time for the weekly open and gap. It's Sunday here in the US of A, Monday over across the pond. So let's take a look at what's happening this week. And hopefully, what's happening this week for the traders out there is that they're going to be using their risk management on each and every trade, because I don't want you to lose more money on any trade than you're willing to lose on that trade. I was watching another trader's video, and they were talking about myths and about whether or not brokers manipulate the market, whether or not they run stops and all of that. You see, can't be you cannot worry about things that are outside of your control. What's in your control is placing a stop loss at the appropriate place, at the proper place, so you don't lose more per trade. Okay, you can't control what goes on outside of that. So let's just keep our focus on the things we can control when we trade, and not worry about all that nonsense that's bantered about, on trading forums and chat groups, etc., etc. So, looking at the weekly chart, of course, boys and girls, fellow traders, you know these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine. You also need to be aware that trading is very, very, very risky. You can lose all your money. So if you're seeking trading advice, financial advice, investment advice, seek it from an accredited financial professional, somebody with a certificate on the wall that says they're an accredited financial professional. That way, when you take their advice and you lose some or all of your money, you know you got your advice from an accredited financial professional rather than some guy with a funny name on YouTube, trading forums, emails, etc., etc. Okay, disclaimers out of the way. On the weekly chart, you can see here we just have two gaps that left to be filled, and we're about, 5 hours or so into the day, 4 hours into the day, a little over 4, and we've already filled, or it's already filled all but two gaps. So if you were interested in that trade, then just in these trades, then maybe you were profitable. It looks that way. Taking a little look here, you can see that the dollar yen is inside the upper wick zone on the week. Taking a look at the year, 107 pips above the yearly open. Month, 141 pips above the open. And for the week and day, since this is Monday, 10 pips above the open. Now, let's take a look here. Here's the first day of the month range here, first day of the year down here, so you can see we're 93 pips away. So we probably don't need to worry about that. And we are actually in the process of putting in the range for the week here, the opening day range. On the buy zone here for the week, you can see we're in the buy zone right now, looking to go up, but who knows which way this is going to go. There's this big green candle. Price may need to come back down here before it can go up. We'll just wait and see what happens, though. Interesting, here on the day, we dipped into that weekly inside bar from 8 weeks ago, but now we shot back out. We're up 11 pips, getting ready to head into the inside bar that happened 13 days ago. And you can see here, there's not too many inside bar on the days, but on the week and the month, you see we have an assortment to pick from. As far as the range, when we're only 4 hours into the day, so not much range anywhere, which means no rat zone trades. And 4 hours, yes, we're putting in weekly H1 highest open and lowest open, but once again, we probably need to give it a little more time to start looking for those type of reversals. We took out the pivot. The pivot was in the buy zone here. So that was a kind of a simple trade. See, we gapped down. We had the pivot here, gap down, both signaling long. Now, it was only good for about 6, 8 pips maybe, but you got to take the easy money sometimes. Range too low, no need to look at the rat zone at this time. Now, let's look here. Weekly pivot, 109.36. Keep that in mind. Let's see if price takes out the weekly pivot. And these are just such simple trades. As you can see here, we've already taken out the monthly pivot, so we don't have to worry about that. You can see here we took out the daily, but we have not reached the weekly. And so since this is a big green candle, I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, it takes that weekly pivot out. Who knows? It has to take out this weekly pivot. Looks like sometime too. And that was from last year. And you can see all these. We had to go back, all of 17 and 18, no miss. Had to go back to 16. And there's some old miss pivots still out there on the weekly. You know, fellow traders, repetition is the mother of skill. It should give you confidence when you succeed, and you just keep at it. But sometimes things are just so simple. Price open between 70 and 60. It cannot stay there. It just can't. You can see here we've got 25 pips. So it broke to the upside. Then you see it opened here between 70 and 80, and it broke to the downside. Sometimes you just have to say, hey, you know what? I see something. It looks like it works. So I'll just put the trade on. I'll put my stop loss in and see if it gives me a chance to take profit. And maybe you just take a couple of pips each time. But if it's working for you, just keep doing it. Wick zone, in and out. We show these every day. There's that one video out there somebody put about wicks or something like that. I mentioned it a couple videos ago, but you know, it's something that I discovered, I forget how long ago, but it just seems to work. You know, looking at the statistics, horizontal line trades, there's nothing on this chart yet. The Einstein line, you know, I had that question, how do you trade it? It's basically you're just looking and seeing what price is doing relative to when you turn on the chart, when you bring it up. So here there was a little long trigger, a short, a long, a short. Maybe you got chopped out. You know, this is kind of near the beginning of the day. Maybe you want to trade then, maybe you don't. You can see here price has moved back and forth a bit. And you can see here how it's escaping these wicks. And then finally, it went to the long side. And our triggers, you know, our bias was long because of the gap down and because of the pivot. And then you can see here how it's paid off. On the ticks, you see we had some movement up about 8 to 10 pips, but lately you can see here just about 2 or 3 pips of movement. Okay, here for the week, we can see where the weekly upper ATR and lower ATR is. Now, there was a trader out there was asking me something about ADR, average daily range. Sorry, I don't know if I got back to you or not, and I wasn't sure if you wanted me to make a version of this using ADR, average daily range, instead of ATR. So you'll need to get back to me on it. But fellow traders, right now, some of you, if you've been following me for a while, you know I'm kind of involved in the union here. And I do things for friends. I'm a home care worker for friends. I just do it once a week or so, just to help out people I know. And I got involved in the union. And right now we're starting elections. So I'm going to be running for the home care president here in the state of Oregon. So we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. It's kind of funny, tell you the truth. I was reading this book. It's called Everything is Figure Outable. And it's kind of funny because now, I've been around the sun, you know, over 60 times, taking those laps around the sun. And a lot of the things that, people are writing about over the past few years are things that, I've done, 10, 20, 30, 40, sometimes 50 years ago. But it's just kind of interesting how things, cycle through our society, how nothing is really new. They put some new words on it. But, when I was growing up, my parents would always tell me to pay attention. It's something in trading. It's like, yeah, pay attention, pay attention to what you're doing, think before you act and things like that. Now it's called mindfulness, you know, and, growing up, it was, put your toys away. Now it's decluttering. So there's really nothing new under the sun per se. But yeah, in that book, they were also saying how, everything around you started out as a thought in somebody's mind, whether it's the laptop or computer screen you're looking at, that started out as a thought, or the your cell phone. Back when I was growing up, Dick Tracy two-way radios, that was stuff of the comics. But anyway, back to trading. I think I just kind of got off on a side note there. Some people might call it geezing, but no, I just wanted to let you know the reason why I haven't put out like the 2020, the start of the donationals. I just been busy. I thought I was going to get them out, by the end of last month, but I just got busy. So I'm going to do my best to get them out. I've got one coming out. I'll just tell you what it is. It's the virgin wick zones. It'll show you wick zones that haven't been penetrated, hence the name virgin wick zones. And I think you'll like it. And I guess as you can see here, when you see these lows here or highs that haven't been penetrated, well, you see right here, we're into this wick zone, so it's not virgin. But this one down here, we haven't gotten there yet. So right here, this is a virgin wick zone. This wick zone up here, that's virgin. It hasn't been penetrated. But you see that one's been penetrated. That one's been penetrated. Down here, that's virgin. Down here, that's virgin too. And so seeing that price is going to go back into those virgin wick zones. And what that's telling you is that, there could be some buy orders down here and sell orders up here that are still waiting because they didn't get filled the first time. And you can kind of see that right here. So in this particular case on the H1, you can see that these wick zones have been penetrated. This one's been penetrated. But this one right here, it's virgin. So that indicator, that's one of the ones you can expect to get. So that's it, fellow traders. I'm hoping that you have a profitable week and you had a fun and safe weekend. And just remember, when you sit down at your trading platform, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. And also remember to come down here and subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and click the bell so you get alerted. And click on like so more people will get to see these videos. Because it's funny, I see some of these guys, they got videos with thousands of views, and it's kind of squiggly line nonsense. But anyway, maybe if you guys, click on that share and copy and post these videos around, more people will get the benefit of what I have to show. So anyway, TheRumpledOne here, signing off.